There's a fire burning just beneath the surface in every family office watching this right now. You feel it, the frustration of chasing growth through the same old playbook, the exhaustion of endless meetings, the crushing weight of fitting into a mold that just doesn't fit anymore. It's like being trapped in a loop where every decision, every investment feels safer sticking to the usual suspects, the tried and true. But deep down, there's a nagging doubt. Why does it feel like the most exciting, groundbreaking ideas, those that could explode your portfolio forward and carve out new worlds of opportunity, are always slipping through your fingers? That the founders winning big today, founders who go against the grain, who disrupt beyond the headlines, somehow remain off your radar? Listen, this isn't about luck. It's not about taking stupid risks or chasing trends wrapped in hype. It's about recognizing a fundamental truth the system tries to hide. The future isn't being built by the people who play it safe. It's being forged by the unconventional, the misfits, the founders who don't fit neatly into a spreadsheet or a traditional VC's checklist. They're the ones who refuse to be boxed in by expectations or past outcomes. They are relentless. They are hungry. They see possibilities in places where the crowd sees risk. The cold reality? Most family offices have been conditioned to avoid the messy, uncomfortable edges where real innovation happens. It's easier to stick to the brands you know, founders who talk the language of legacy wealth, polished resumes, and predictable exits. But here's the problem. Those founders, respectable as they seem, are increasingly caught in a cycle of diminishing returns. Their visions are predictable, their ambition capped by convention. Meanwhile, the unconventional founders, those overlooked rebels, are quietly rewriting industries, creating new markets, and redefining value on their own terms. And they're doing it fast, insatiably, fueled by something you can't buy. A pure, unfiltered desire to shake the foundations of what's accepted. If your family office wants to break free from the stagnant grind, if you want to generate returns that don't just copy the past but invent the future, you have to learn to spot, embrace, and bet on these unconventional founders. But it's not just about writing a check. It's about what happens next, the mindset, the support, the ecosystem you build around them. They don't want a yes man or a slow-moving institution that can't keep up. They want collaborators who get it, that it's not about micromanaging, but about unleashing. They want partners who will tolerate the chaos, the relentless questioning, the products that don't immediately fit the mold because they're not designed for today. They're for tomorrow, a tomorrow so unfamiliar it almost feels like magic. So how do you find these rare founders? How do you break the habit of glamorizing safe bets and start building the network that turns overlooked potential into unstoppable momentum? First, forget the resume. Ditch the lists of past exits. Ignore the usual benchmarks. The founders reshaping reality rarely come fully polished. They come raw, often isolated, misunderstood by mainstream investors, carrying the weight of their own visions that clash with what's comfortable or easy to fund. Look for people who refuse to default. Listen to those whose ideas unsettle you. If it feels risky, good. The biggest profits, the lasting impacts, come from discomfort. Second, trust your instincts even when data doesn't add up in the traditional sense. Yes, metrics matter, but what matters more is the founder's vision and grit. The universe respects those who burn with purpose, not those who just echo what's worked before. The uniqueness of their approach is your signal, not noise. Third, build a support system designed to embrace difference. Family offices shouldn't act like closed clubs protecting tradition. They should become high-voltage gateways where unconventional founders find not judgment, but radical understanding and resources tailored to their needs. A space where the misfits can sharpen their edges rather than dull them. This support is about more than money. It's mentorship. It's network connections that complement rather than dilute. and it's the freedom to experiment without the looming fear of immediate perfection. Fourth, practice acute patience. Unconventional founders don't always play by the calendar of quarterly returns. They work on cycles of transformation, eras measured in the depth of impact, not bank statements printed monthly. Family offices that learn to think long game, who dare to stretch timelines and tolerate the tension of uncertainty, become the ultimate catalysts. Your patience becomes your competitive advantage. And here's a brutal but crucial truth. This game is not for everyone. It demands that family offices shed comfort like old skin, that they question everything they've believed about risk and reward, that they become pioneers themselves, willing to burn bridges behind them to leap forward, not just manage capital. It's a call to refuse the easy routes, the polished deals, the herd mentality. At the core, betting on unconventional founders is a rebellion against a broken system. For decades, the world has promised freedom and equality, but delivered conformity and mediocrity. That world has fences built from fear and convenience. It systematizes safety, but penalizes brilliance. Yet the solution is not to fight the system on its terms, but to build something new around it. To create a network where exceptional founders and forward-thinking family offices connect with brutal honesty, fierce respect, and a shared hunger to remake reality on their own terms. Imagine your family office not just as a place that preserves wealth, but as a forge where wild ideas become steel-strong structures. A place where founders who defy norms find not an obstacle, but an ally. A place that recognizes that the power of the liberated individual is the most precious asset any institution can unlock. This means a shift from currency driven by comfort to currency powered by radical trust and alignment with those who share your fire. You might be thinking this sounds risky, maybe even reckless. But here's what's reckless: ignoring the tides of change, clinging to a worn script while the world rewrites the story without you. The choice is clear and urgent. Either be a spectator stuck in the old narrative or become a co-author of the future's playbook. The founders worth betting on today are not just business owners. They are the storm, the disruption, the hope coming from the edges, unshackled by old rules and ready to redefine what's possible. It's not about following trends. It's about leading transformation through partnership with those who question everything and refuse to settle. It's about family offices being more than capital sources. They become enablers of deep change, collectors of rare connections, and architects of futures no one else saw coming. So lean into the discomfort. Celebrate the misfits, champion the misunderstood. Build networks not of sameness, but of fierce, beautiful contrast. And recognize that in this space, patience, trust, and radical openness aren't liabilities. They're your greatest strengths. This isn't a passive journey. It's a calling to every family office brave enough to smash walls down instead of patching cracks. To unite not with the many, but with the few who burn as fiercely as you do. To become the architecture for transformation, the home for founders who trade certainty for destiny, the partners who know true power lies in aligning rare brilliance into unstoppable force. And when you do, you don't just invest in companies. You ignite movements. You don't just build wealth. You build legacies that shake awake the world. Now is the moment to see beyond the illusion of safety and step into the electrifying, untamed future. It's time to bet on the unconventional founders because they are the spark, the revolution, the answer to every family office trapped in yesterday's story. They bring the fire that will illuminate tomorrow, and all it takes is boldness to embrace the unknown, fierce alignment, and the courage to unleash what no system ever honored before. No more waiting, no more settling. The edge is calling, and it's where the real future is being made. Don't watch it from the sidelines. Be the force that breaks the pattern. Be the family office that shapes what comes next, aligned with the rare few who dare to build beyond limits. The choices you make in the next moments can free or fence your legacy. Choose to unleash the fire. Choose to rise with those who won't bend. Choose to bet on the power of the unconventional and watch everything change.